So I wanted to try something different with my Mark III build. So I'm going to do a build journal of a lot of the stuff that I go through. And this is the Rapidstrike and the Strife that I'm starting out with. And what I'm looking to do with this build, I may not be completely successful, but I'm hoping to build the entire Mark III out of just this Rapidstrike and this Strife. So we'll put it together. We're going to try to work on some, bring these components together, and we'll see how this build journal goes. This is the heart of the Hailstorm mod. It's where the two motor cages come together. And if you look at the dart distance, putting them in there, and we line that dart up right with the center of the first motor cage, you can see over here that the dart almost exactly lines up with the center of the second one. So you have contact on both sides. Now, to put this together, I took a piece of the Strife barrel and reamed it out so that all of the little flanges on the inside were gone, so that there was nothing to restrict the dart as it goes through. And then glued that onto each of the motor cages, so that the two of them come together and that bonds it together, and that forms that single motor cage used to accelerate the flywheel. It's used to accelerate the dart. Here are the pieces that I scavenged from the Strife when I pull them off here. I've got the battery tray. We're going to attach that to the side of the Rapidstrike. We're going to take the stock attachment and we're going to put that on the back so we can attach a stock. I've got this, the magwell holder, taken off. It's going to attach to the opposite side of the Rapidstrike to hold an extra clip. And then this, the tack rail from the top of the Strife, is going to go over top of where the second motor cage is on the top of the Rapidstrike to kind of replace that top, that lower top tactical rail. So I finally settled on design for the barrel, front barrel of the Mark III. And what I did is I took the very front of the Rapidstrike barrel, the very front of the Strife barrel, cut them both off, sanded them down and attached the two of them together, and then attached them directly to the front of the battery cover for the Rapidstrike. Glued that together, got a nice tight fit from that, and now you can see when you slide these in, gives you a nice clean barrel, but opening it up so it doesn't have any of that that tight barrel fit that the Rapidstrike normally has. The shell work is done, and you can see how the pieces from the Strife came together on the Rapidbat as to the different pieces. We've got the battery tray mounted on the right side. On the back, we've got the stock attachment point. We cut off the back of the Rapidstrike and mounted that on there. You can see on the top here that the top rail from the Rapidstrike now, and this is an elevated rail coming up here, and also can see the clip, the magazine holder, cut out and attached onto here. Now we flip over the back side, you can see how the motor tray cut out. You can see the first motor cage, the second motor, how that whole cutout comes, and you can get a better view of how that attachment rail from the Strife comes in and attaches onto the top and forms that top. Use the self-drying modeling clay to fill in everything to get the nice lines, and then with the motor tray drop down in here with mount points, mount screws, all of that in here. So you can see how the whole thing is coming together. It's just about ready for its primer paint coat. Final painting, green, a dark green with silver accents, and I was doing some touch up on some of the silver pieces, and I screwed up and had the green pieces drying too close, and the wind caught the paint and blew little specks of silver over onto the green. And I looked at it, and at first I was going to redo the green, but after I looked at it, I kind of liked the effect, so I tried to go back over the entire thing. And I don't know how well it's going to come out in this video, but I've got little dusting of silver flecks over it. It ended up coming out very nicely, but it was a complete accident and a mistake on my part that ended up with that. Final shot of the internals before I close everything up. I've got power running to this switch down here, and that serves as a master cutoff as well as the rev trigger. From there, it feeds power to the pusher motor circuit and that switch, and as well as out to the rev trigger here. Also have the live center set up here, so this is running power through this blue wire to the open of the switch, so that it pulls the pusher motor back when it's going in, and running ground to the other side of that, feeding that back into the opposite of the switch. So when the switch is activated, it runs power to the pusher motor, and when the switch is deactivated, it either runs power or ground based on the position of this switch and based on the position of the pusher motor. Two other quick features: I've got an XT60 plug to disconnect the battery, so I can plug a LiPo in, or I can disconnect everything and remove the entire loom from the blaster. And I also decided to add an LED into the front here, coming out the front of the blaster, kind of give it a little flashlight, so whenever the motor revs, that light comes on as well. Sometimes you get done with a build and you just realize it. Get it done, you get it tested, and you find something that just you thought was going to work and then just completely didn't work. And when I did the front of this, I left this ring right in here filed it out and made it nice and wide so the darts would go through it. Thought it'd be no problem. When I got it out, started testing it, about 1 in 10 darts ended up hitting that ring. It was shredding darts, causing jams with all kinds of problems. So after I got it done, I took it back apart, ripped that ring out, filed it all down, and then painted it back in here. And now the whole opening from the motor to the faux barrel up here is completely open. There's nothing in there. And then in testing that seemed to work a whole lot better. Final shot of the Hailstorm Mk.3. Had it out this weekend. Performs very, very well. It's hitting around 160 feet per second. But paint came out well. The only thing that I'm looking at to look at for the next version is I want to close this barrel version in here. But otherwise, very happy with both the way it ended up looking and the way that it performs.